I never imagined that a single evening could turn my world upside down. My name is Ethan, I'm 33, and I had been with Leah, my high school sweetheart, for nearly 7 years. I thought I knew everything about her. Every laugh, every sigh, every little habit that made her who she was. We had our routines, our inside jokes, our Saturday morning coffee ritual. Life wasn't perfect, but it was comfortable. I liked that comfort. That Friday night, we attended a friend's wedding. I wore a dark navy suit, a tie I knew she liked, and shoes polished to a mirror shine. Leah was breathtaking in an emerald green dress that hugged her perfectly, her hair twisted elegantly over her shoulder. She had that radiant glow that made heads turn. I felt proud. I felt happy. And then I saw it. I had stepped away for a moment to check my phone, and when I looked back, she was dancing with someone else. Not just dancing, laughing, twirling, completely absorbed, like I didn't exist. Her hand rested on his shoulder in that familiar, tender way she used with me, her smile that had always been mine now lighting up his face. My chest tightened. My stomach dropped. For a fleeting second, I told myself it must be innocent, maybe just friendly, but deep down, I knew the truth. The spark I thought we shared was gone. It had moved elsewhere. I forced myself to appear normal, clapping politely when the song ended, pouring a drink, chatting with friends, all while my eyes kept drifting back to them. Every laugh, every glance, every touch felt like a stab, yet beneath the pain was a strange sense of freedom. Later, when the music slowed, I stepped onto the balcony, staring at the city lights, grappling with a mixture of anger, heartbreak, and curiosity. I wondered what it would feel like to stop caring, to let the world notice me again in a way I hadn't felt in months. I saw her again, still smiling at him, fully immersed. She had made her choice. That was when I decided. I wouldn't beg, I wouldn't plead, and I wouldn't allow 7 years of memories to turn into more years of pain. I wasn't going to crumble for her. Then my gaze landed on Maya. She'd been at the wedding with her cousins, mostly quiet, laughing softly to herself, often alone during dinner. There was something magnetic about her calm presence, something I hadn't noticed because I had been so focused on Leah. Her smile was gentle yet confident, drawing you in without demanding attention. On impulse, I walked over, introduced myself, and soon we were talking, joking, sharing stories. Then she asked me to dance. I hesitated, part of me wanting to punish Leah by moving on so quickly, but I realized this wasn't about revenge. It was about me, about allowing myself to feel noticed again. As her hand found mine and we moved to the music, I felt a shift. My chest relaxed, my mind cleared, and I laughed, truly laughed, for the first time that night. Not the forced laugh I'd offered friends, not the half-hearted smile I wore while watching Leah, but a real, unguarded laugh. Across the dance floor, Leah's eyes met mine. For a brief moment, there was recognition, maybe even a flicker of jealousy, but I didn't look back. I couldn't. Maya guided me through the crowd, spinning, twirling, holding me close just enough. No past, no judgment, just the present moment where everything felt right. It struck me then that life doesn't wait for us to be ready. People come and go, choices are made, and the only control we have is how we respond. I chose not to dwell. I chose not to wait for someone who had already decided. I didn't know what the future held, but for the first time in months, I felt truly alive. The next morning brought a clarity I hadn't felt in a long time. My head was clear, my chest unburdened, my heart free of lingering bitterness. I hadn't reached out to Leah, I hadn't confronted her, I hadn't reacted. I simply existed in the moment, lighter than I had been in months. And though I didn't even know Maya's last name, I felt like something entirely new had just begun. I didn't know her number, her address, or even much about her life. All I knew was that she existed. Then, one evening, she reminded me in a subtle way that connection isn't something you demand. It's something that happens when you allow yourself to be open. In the weeks that followed, I didn't cut Leah out completely, but I stopped pursuing her. She sent the occasional message, a casual hey, hope you're doing well, or a picture from a party I wasn't invited to. I didn't reply. The urge to respond flared briefly, but I reminded myself that after 7 years of hoping someone would notice me, I owed it to myself to hold my ground. Respect yourself first. And then, almost ironically, life brought Maya back into my orbit. She was working at a coffee shop near my office. I hadn't expected it. The universe, it seemed, had a sense of humor. I ordered my usual latte, and there she was, smiling as though she'd always known we'd cross paths again. Our conversation started small. Brief exchanges, little laughs, shared musical tastes. But with every interaction, it became clear that this wasn't about replacing Leia. It was about discovering someone new who truly saw me, someone whose laughter resonated with mine, whose presence made my chest tighten in a way that was exhilarating rather than suffocating. About a month later, we went to a small local dance. Nothing elaborate, just live music, soft lights, people swaying together. I felt nervous, not because of her, but because of myself. Could I fully let go? Could I allow someone else into the corners of my heart I had reserved for Leia for so long? Maya held my hand, steady, gentle, confident, and for the first time in years, I smiled freely. We moved together with the music, in sync, free of past burdens. Across the room, I noticed Leia. She was there with friends, laughing as she always did, scanning the crowd. Our eyes met for a brief instant, recognition, maybe a hint of regret, but it passed. I felt nothing but calm. No sadness. No anger. No longing. Just clarity. That's when it hit me. The paths we choose shape the lives we live. Some doors, once closed, are meant to stay that way. Leia had chosen her life. I had chosen mine. And for the first time in years, I felt like I was moving forward, not looking back. In the months that followed, Maya and I became inseparable. Simple routines, morning coffee, long walks, shared playlists, became the foundation of our bond. She never tried to replace the past, and I never compared her to it. Together, we built something delicate yet resilient, steadily growing stronger. One rainy evening, we stood on her balcony, city lights blurred by sheets of rain. I turned to her and said, "I never imagined a night like that could change everything." She smiled softly, brushing a strand of hair from my face. "Change isn't scary when it moves in the right direction," she said. And she was right. Looking back, I realized that night at the wedding wasn't merely an ending. It was a turning point, a choice between crumbling under disappointment or rising with hope. I chose to rise. I chose to stop waiting for someone who wasn't there and start noticing someone who was. Life has a peculiar way of teaching lessons, sometimes through heartbreak, sometimes through chance encounters, and sometimes through the courage to step forward when every instinct tells you to stay behind. I don't know what the future with Maya holds, but I do know this. Letting go isn't about losing. It's about creating space for what you genuinely deserve. And for me, that space is full of laughter, warmth, and someone who sees me in ways that truly matter. What I once thought was the end of the story turned out to be the beginning of something far richer. And I've learned that dancing with someone new can reveal more about yourself than clinging to the past ever could.